Please be ready for a dictation of a matter on United Nations organization taken from website thebalance.com. 5 seconds. Start. The United Nations, headquartered in New York, is an international organization of 193 member states. It was founded in 1945 to prevent another world war. The United Nations founding charter mandates 4 ambitious purposes. It maintains international peace, which is a full-time job in itself. Its other 3 missions help to achieve that overarching goal. It fosters friendly relations between its members. It solves international problems and promotes human rights, and it harmonizes its members' actions. The main parts of the UN are the General Assembly, the Security Council, the Economic and Social Council, the International Court of Justice, and the Secretariat. The General Assembly is composed of representatives of all member states. It creates the mandates that guide the day-to-day work of the boards and councils under it. The General Assembly meeting lasts for several weeks in September of each year, and it gives world leaders a chance to come together and form working relationships. The Security Council is the most powerful UN unit. Its mandate is to keep the peace. The 5 permanent members are China, France, Russia, the United Kingdom, and the United States. The General Assembly also elects 10 non-permanent members that hold 2-year terms. All UN members must comply with Security Council decisions, and the Council sends peacekeeping forces to restore order when needed. The Council can impose economic sanctions or an arms embargo to pressure countries that do not comply, and it authorizes the UN's members to take military action if needed. The Economic and Social Council conducts analysis, agrees on global norms, and advocates for progress in the areas of sustainable development, humanitarian work, and financial development. It forms partnerships as needed and oversees joint UN action to address related issues. The International Court of Justice is located at The Hague in the Netherlands. It settles legal disputes between countries. The Secretariat carries out the day-to-day work of the organization. It has several departments and offices that carry out distinct responsibilities. The Security Council nominates its leader, the Secretary General. The UN is not a government and has no right to make binding laws. Instead, it uses the power of persuasion. The UN committees negotiate multilateral agreements that give more teeth to its policies. Combined, they form a body of international law. All nations contribute to the UN budget, so they each have a part in funding UN-specific initiatives. Every member votes in the General Assembly meeting, so the UN's decisions reflect the prevailing values and goals of the majority of its members. Thus, countries that don't comply know they are in the minority. All peace-loving countries that are willing and able to carry out their obligations under the UN Charter can join the UN. 9 of the 15 members of Security Council must approve without any of the 5 permanent members voting against membership. Then 2/3 of the General Assembly must also approve the membership. On October 24, 1945, the first 50 nations who were members of the UN ratified its charter. US President Franklin D. Roosevelt lobbied for the UN's creation even during World War II. In the Declaration of the United Nations, the allies pledged to work together to stop the Axis. The four major allies were the United States, the United Kingdom, the Soviet Union, and China. His administration worked with Congress to create a UN charter that had its support. President Harry Truman continued the effort after his death. On June 26, 1945, the members created the UN Charter at the San Francisco Conference. Truman made sure that Congress ratified it right away. The United Nations is the second attempt at a global peace initiative. In 1919, US President Woodrow Wilson pushed for the League of Nations after World War I. The United States was not a member. Congress refused to ratify membership, fearing that would pull the United States into countless wars. Many felt the League failed because it could not prevent the outbreak of World War II. Stop.